Hi, my name is Ashwani Kumar. In this video, we are going to see the few more previous year questions. So coming to this question here, they given the list 1 and list 2. In the list 1, open circuit, short circuit, hybrid and transmission parameters are there. So coming to our UGS net syllabus, we are having the four different types of parameters are there. Those four are Z, Y, H and transmission parameters. So while coming to the Z parameters, that is V1 is equal to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2, and in this equation Z11 can be written as a I1 by V1 when you make I2 is equal to 0. So in the lectures I told that I2 is equal to 0 means the 2 and 2 dash terminals has to be open circuited. That means Z parameters can also be called as a open circuit parameters. That means here this one is a open circuit parameters. So Z11 I am getting V1 by I1 and Z12 is equal to V1 by I2 when I1 is equal to 0. So Z11 here the matrix order is Z11, Z12, Z21, Z22. It is the order of the Z matrix. Z11 is V1 by I1. So just set down. V1 by I1 is there in both these two options, and while coming to the Z12 is V1 by I2. V1 by I2 is only in this option. So obviously A is linked up with the V1 by I1 and V1 by I2. Similarly, Z21 is V2 by I1 and Z22 is V2 by I2. So option A is matching up with the fourth one. So like that, while coming to the short circuit parameters means it is admittance parameters. Admittance parameters means I1 is equal to Y11 V1 plus Y12 V2. In this case, Y11 is equal to I1 by V1 if you make V2 is equal to 0. So V2 is equal to 0 means we have to short circuit the V2. So V2 is equal to 0 means 2 and 2 dash terminal has to be short circuited. So that's why the admittance parameters can also be called as a short circuited parameters. That means Y parameters, admittance. So we will get Y11 is equal to I1 by V1 and similarly Y12 is equal to I1 by V2. So here the Y parameters matrix is Y11, Y12, Y21 and Y22. So Y11 is I1 by V1. So I1 by V1 is, see, I1 by V1, it is only one and only one option is there. So short circuit parameters are I1 by V1, I1 by V2, I2 by V1 and I2 by V2. And while coming to the hybrid parameters, the hybrid parameters can be equations can be written as V1 is equal to H11 I1 plus H12 V2. So from this one, H11 is equal to V1 by I1 if you make V2 as a 0, and H12 is equal to V1 by V2 if you make I1 is equal to 0. So here the matrix is H11, H12, H21 and H22. So what is the H11 I got? V1 by I1. So V1 by I1, remaining both these two are there. So V1 by I1 is there. That means it is a hybrid parameters and it is the transmission parameters. So while coming to the transmission parameters, the equations are V1 I1. V1 is equal to A into V2 minus B into I2. Similarly, I1 is equal to C into V2 minus D into I2. Okay, and parameters matrix is A, B, C, D. Okay, so it is a way of solving this question. And while coming to the next question, so while coming to this question, in the following list there are materials and their band energies. So match the following. Material 1 and list 1 and list 2 is given. So here you have to remember these band gap energies. So coming to the gallium arsenide, it is a 1.4 electron volts. And coming to the gallium aluminum arsenide, so here the P is matching up with the third one, that is 1.4 to 1.55 electron volts. And while coming to the indium gallium arsenide, it is 0.96 to 1.24 electron volts, and indium gallium arsenide phosphate is 0.73 to 1.35 electron volts. So here the correct option is the third one. And coming to the next question, here the following semiconductor materials are given. Arrange the above in the increasing order of their hole mobility. So first the indium phosphide hole mobility is 200 and the gallium arsenide is 400, while coming to the silicon is 450 and the carbon is greater than 500. So these are the values of the whole mobility of all these given materials. So if you want to put them in increasing order means first one is the indium phosphide, that is the D, and next one is the C, next one is the B, that is silicon, and next one is the A. So DCBA is the correct option. So fourth one is the correct option for this one. So you have to remember these values for these materials. So it is the next question. In this question, we have to see the following are the semiconductor materials having certain values of recombination coefficients. Arrange them in the ascending order. So here I am giving the recombination coefficients of all these materials. So it is a tabular format that you have to remember. So based upon this tabular format, you can able to question this. You can able to answer this question. So first we will see the whatever the materials they given here. So based upon the materials, we can find out the recombination coefficient in this tabular format. So first the gallium arsenide value is 7.21 into 10 power minus 10. So that is this value. And coming to the indium arsenide, the indium arsenide value is 8.5 into 10 power minus 11. So that is 8.5 into 10 power minus 11. And while coming to the silicon value is 1.79 into 10 power minus 15. 1.79 into 10 power minus 15, and coming to the gallium phosphide, the value is 5.37 into 10 power minus 14. So these are the individual recombination coefficient values. So they are asking to put them in the ascending order. Ascending order means increasing order. So here the the most greatest one is the gallium arsenide, that means D. So here 1, 3 and 4 options will come out, and after the D, the next one is the indium arsenide, that means the C option. So C option means this option will gone out, and both 1 or 3. And after the 3, so if you compare both these two, which one is the highest one? 5.3 into 10 power minus 14 is the highest one, that means gallium arsenide, so option A. So next option A. So the first one is the correct answer to this one. So you have to remember the recombination coefficients of these materials and band gap energies of these materials. Okay, and it is a next problem. So it is a network theory related problem, or the circuit theory. So consider the following network, and they are asking to find out the power dissipated in R1, R2 and R3, or P1, P2 and P3. So to find out the power dissipated in these resistors, the power is having the different formulas: I square R, or else V square by R, or else I into R. So we will use this formula. So to find out the power dissipated in each and every resistor, first we have to find out the current flowing through the resistors. So current flowing through the resistors means here I am applying the nodal analysis. Let's take here I is coming, and it is dividing into the two sections, I1 and I2. So from the circuit I can write that I is equal to I1 plus I2, right? And I can be written as 5 minus, let's take here some voltage V is there. Okay, let's imagine that some voltage V is there at this node. Now I can be written as 5 minus V divided by 4 is equal to V divided by 2 plus V minus 10 divided by 2. So it is a KCL analysis, Kirchhoff's current law. So you just refer the KCL lecture, then you will come to know how I wrote this expression. So next, after do the LCM here, and I will get that 5 minus V is equal to 2V plus 2V minus 20. Okay, so from this one 2V plus 2V becomes as equal to 4V, and if I bring this V this side, then it becomes as equal to 5V is equal to 25. So from this one V is equal to 5. That means at this node the voltage is 5 volts. And after this one, let's take the current I. The current I is the current flowing through the 4 ohm resistor. That is, I am taking I1. So I1 is equal to 5 minus V divided by 4, as I wrote already here. Now I got the V as a 5. So now 5 minus 5 divided by 4 is nothing but 0. That means the current flowing through this resistor is 0 amperes. If the current flowing through the R1 is 0 amperes, then the power P1 also becomes is equal to 0 watts. Right? Similarly, next we will calculate the I2. I2 is the current flowing through the 2 ohm resistor. Here I wrote that V divided by 2 is the current. V divided by 2 means 5 divided by 2. That becomes is equal to 2.5 amperes. Then the power dissipated through this 2 ohms resistor. Okay, I'm just taking, sorry, here they represented R3, right? So R3 is nothing but a P3. So let's take the P3, that is nothing but power dissipated across this 2 ohms is I square into R. I square into R means 2.5 whole square into resistance. The resistance is 2. Fine. So it is the P3. And next, while coming to the P, so here the P2 is nothing but the current flowing through this 2 ohms. So the current flowing through this 2 ohms we can calculate as I2. That is I2 is V minus 10 divided by 2. So V minus 10 divided by 2 means V is 5. 5 minus 10 divided by 2 whole square into resistance is 2. So here this one becomes is equal to minus 5 by 2. Minus 5 by 2 means minus 2 by minus 5 by 2. That means 2.5 whole square into 2. Okay, but because minus is nothing but here whole square is there, so the minus will be vanished. So I got P1 is equal to 0 watts, P2 is equal to 2.5 whole square into 2, and P3 also 2.5 whole square into 2, right? So it is a P3 and P2. So now I got P3 is equal to P2, but P1 is equal to 0. So here they ask in the increasing order. So first P1, P2 and P3, or else P1, P3 and P2. So you may get any this thing. So the least one is P1, that is A. So you can do option, I mean first option and second option, both these two will work out for this question. Okay, so actually they have to change any one of the resistor. Here the 2 ohms and here the 2 ohms they given, but actually they have to change any one resistor such that we will get one clear answer. But as per the values we got right now, P1 is the least one, but P2 is equal to P3. That means either this option work out and this option also works out. So these are all the different questions from the UGC NET December 2018. Okay, so these are all the questions from the December 2018 question papers. These are so many questions we solved in the same question paper. Almost nearly 10 questions are there. So that means whatever the topics we discussed so far, that means the 2 units we discussed. So 2 units means from each and every unit we will get the 5 questions. So